back. Troy's dreaming big like LeBron. Matt's backtesting like a daddy Mac. Dan's 30 years got our way, trading life and markets every day. Rusty's chained to the mines, digging deep day by day. But when Option Omega releases new features, he's free to come out and play option. Omega, you're trading home, where every move makes you feel less alone.
I was timing the end of that drum roll. Just
It is
high level production here at the OO show. Dan, how are you, sir?
doing good. Little, I thought, Matt, as I was thinking back yesterday with Troy was saying, I thought he was just joking, saying, the air, what do they call it?
The air traffic controllers.
Yeah, he's saying that there could be less flights and it could affect them. I thought he was joking, but yes, I guess there could be. So there might be a little drama here.
I heard from Troy. Troy is going to be gone for a little bit, and I heard that he is boarding his flight. So
good.
Troy may be. We don't listen. It's just a one-way flight, so we may see Troy the next time in a totally different geography. He may be coming to us in a swimsuit on the beach. That wouldn't shock us, or in an igloo wearing his normal outfit. That also wouldn't shock us. We just don't know. So this could be an interesting time. But yeah, what is your feeling on this shutdown? How long can this go on before it really starts to matter? Because I kind of feel like this was the first week where you started to see, hey, this actually is kind of serious. What do you think?
It's starting to get people are getting a little crazed about it, right? A little, and you would think something would break soon with something, I know there's a lot, what is it? The Snap, is it called the Snaps payment?
Snap is a big thing on Twitter, at least. There's a lot of Snap discussion. Yes.
Yeah. So we'll see with that, and we'll wait for Troy to make a little guest appearance. Remember those kids? You ever get those books for your kids? Is it Where's Elmo? And
Where's Waldo? They might have had a Where's Elmo, but I remember Where's Waldo.
Where's Waldo? I love those. I mean, whoever the illustrator was for those, such a busy picture. That's what I feel like with Troy. It's like, where's he going to pop up? Where's Troy? Interesting.
Yes. And good morning to the chat. I see we've already weighed in. Tom, I'm not sure. Is that comment directed at me by my eyes? And already the New York. Yeah, we had elections the other night. New York. Man, it feels like we should do maybe a different podcast on that. But that's going to be it's going to be interesting times. The new regime, you could call it a regime in New York. Regime change. So that'll be interesting.
New York can be spicy to begin with. There's a lot going on there.
Lot going on
there. Now you throw this will be an interesting challenge for the people of New York.
Yes, it sure will. And Dan, are you feeling good this morning? I'm a little bit tired myself, but I'm working this coffee.
Yeah, it's I did tea today, tea instead of coffee.
Oh, so, nice. A caffeinated tea or a decaf tea?
I did decaf, just like peppermint or something, but it's, nice to get the morning started. I know you had was it a late night?
I had a spontaneous late night. So, not to get too personal, but I took a day off yesterday because it's been a while. It's kind of a spontaneous last minute thing, and ended up jumping on the internet and looking and seeing that Pacers tickets were $6. So I took my youngest to the Pacers and paid more for a pretzel than his ticket. And we watched the very injury. Listen, let me just, we got a lot of international folks, probably don't care about American basketball, but as Troy has said, this is an NBA podcast that does options content.
That's right.
This is how the Pacers are going through a week similar to DC's. In that the typical NBA roster has 15 players. They have 8 injured players.
Oh my.
And I think that includes their two ways. So 8 out of 18 would be injured, which is that what, about 40%? It's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's tough. It's tough. Yesterday, I did not market watch at all. I did look at my trades in the morning and saw I was barely green. And then just checked in a couple times during the day because I'm not an AFK automator. You know, we don't recommend AFKing. So I did.
Okay. I don't know. Excuse my ignorance. What's AFK?
Away from.
So I got you. Okay.
Obviously,
gotcha.
you know.
Sorry, I asked. Okay.
Yeah. So I, you know, not that I was watching it, but I checked in a few times, and just everything ended up like the Pacers. Is very red. It's very red. And we're going to talk about some red. And actually, you know what? We've got a whole, let's see if we can do this. Can you guys see this? We've got a whole agenda today. So, you know, I'm recovered from the Pacers loss. Didn't get home too late, drinking some coffee.
Yeah.
And, I did, you know, whenever Troy's gone, I just, you know, our numbers are always down big. So I just take the opportunity to do special things. Today in the Civil War Minute, this actually relates to the chat, relates to good origami man. On this day, many years ago, Abraham Lincoln elected first term as president.
Interesting.
Many would say the greatest president in U.S. history. You could make that. You could make an argument. Many would say not. Consequential, maybe the most consequential. A year later, actually in Civil War history, and I don't know these, by the way, guys, I just use a website. Hello. Jefferson Davis elected president of the Confederate States of America, a very short-lived entity, the CSA, lived shorter than many of my backtests, as it were.
Wow.
That may offend some people watching, but again, when Troy's gone, the numbers are just down so much.
You need to spruce it. I told Troy, Matt, that
controversial.
You early on when we were doing the OO shows, you went on a couple classic rants that I would say I loved them. You were going. It's like, you know, Oprah Winfrey saying, "You go, girl." You were going.
Have to bring. Listen,
you know. So if you feel it, I mean, if you feel like,
well, here's what I think we could talk about. I've got a backtest. And it's one that we haven't seen in a minute. I don't know that we've ever showed it on this show, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I want to just acknowledge the fact that it is Thursday. And I have Thursday candy bar because a couple weeks ago we looked at some backtests because, listen, Thursday, since dailies, has had a higher propensity for volatility. And this also kind of relates to what I want to talk about today with this backtest. Because
one comment before you I've been thinking about this the last week, but you know, in the back testing, it's been proven that Thursday is kind of the big kahuna day. Thursday can move and you want to be careful not to put trades on there, correct?
Well, here's what I would say. And actually, this is an unintended segue to what we're going to talk about. That has been true in 22, 23, and 24. There were bigger outsized moves on Thursday.
Yeah.
But this does relate to what I want to talk about today, which is part 3. We're tying everything together. 0DT, Bitcoin, Thursdays, what is happening?
Well, when you say, Matt, that Thursday, I mean, I never really, I mean, it was great, and that's what's been great learning through learning more with the back testing. But the other thing is, wouldn't you agree, when you're doing 0 day, 2 day, 3 day, 1 day,
yes,
or whatever, yes, the Thursday thing means quite a bit. But if
Yes.
you're going out like 9 days, 15
Yes.
days, 16, your negative gamma is low. It's not that big of a deal.
Right.
I've never really, I mean, I've put a 15-day calendar on for years.
You don't worry about it.
And and it's been, well, you get a little extra theta, and sometimes you can get out Friday relatively, at a decent yield, because you get a little extra theta, because the market makers will generally start lowering the volatilities on Friday just because there's more sellers. Sometimes I would do it Thursday afternoon. But the key is, I think it's, remember, duration is key, right?
Yes.
Duration, you start getting out 2 weeks, you're going to have a gamma of minus 0.01, minus 0.02. And you say, well, what the heck does that mean? It means your deltas won't move much for a price move. Where if you're in a 2-day trade, game on, right?
Yes.
Or 3 days. So I think it's good to make that distinction. The Thursday, because I didn't understand it when Matt would tell me, Dan, can't put the trade down on Thursday. It's tested, but duration is a very important factor here. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, and sometimes there's this phenomenon when you're talking about something, processing out loud, you have a realization. And that's what I'm having right now while you're talking. I had not intended to show this backtest. I'm going to show this real quick. Yeah. We did this a couple weeks ago. And what you will notice is this trade had some really outsized winners in 23 and 24. And this is not the backtest we're going to show, but we are showing it. And look at it this year. Not good. Let's just run it year to date. So this was the candy bar. This is just an illustration, because there's literally a bunch of backtests that will show the same thing. But here is my thesis that I'm like just developing right now. Chat, tell me what you think of this. 0DTE, I would say the story of the year for 0DTE, can it be summed up in Trump that easy for me to say, Trump tweets? Is that the story? Like Trump tweets? And my thesis is, has Trump inadvertently have his tweets made every day kind of like Thursday and taken some of the juice out of Thursday itself? I don't know. But here, let's look at this backtest that I was intending to show, which is this one right here. And if you'll notice, I made this backtest for, I think it was at the end of 23. I honestly don't remember. But this is a very simple backtest that somebody would call a power hour backtest. And so what we're doing is we're selling $3 shorts, essentially naked. So this is like an advanced concept for people that kind of have experience. We are looking at longs here as some margin protection, but they're not going to provide delta protection. And so this is not even an intermittent trade. This is just checking on the 1 minute. It's again, this is a concept. And so here's the thing. It did pretty well in 2022, did real well with a high vol, didn't do great in 23, did pretty well in 24. But look at this year. And here's what it's done. Spoiler alert. Not great. So I don't think anybody would be interested in trading this. And yesterday, I didn't look, but yesterday was one of those days, wasn't it? Yes. Perfect. Thank you, Backtest. What happened yesterday? Well, it looked like the market was, about 68.30, right? 68.30, 68.20. And then correct me if I'm wrong, Trap, but I think there was a Trump tweet and you ended up in Wreckville here. And again, this backtest doesn't have a stop loss. It's got a 1 minute exit check. Okay. So just to be clear about what it is, this was a concept when we made the video to show 0DTE compared to Bitcoin. And that's what this number was actually. This was, I think I actually have a chart here. This was the value of Bitcoin, 42,000. Let's look at the Bitcoin chart. I don't think we've ever done this on the OO show, but related to Trump, what happened to Bitcoin when Trump got elected? It went berserk. It went absolutely berserk. And we're not Bitcoin experts. There's plenty of people that are. But if we go back to this back test of looking at this power hour trade, this has been by far the worst year since dailies.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, my question are Trump tweets what has changed the zero DTE landscape this year? And sub question, has the zero DTE landscape changed? Because I look at, not trying to find correlation and causation links where they don't exist, but I look at this and think, in the past, Thursdays had more vol than they've had this year. They've actually been more mellow this year. And it feels like the vol has been like essentially spread out, and these Trump tweets can come at any notice. I know that there are people that have changed their zero DTE behavior because of these tweets, and not just the tweets, but the rebound from the tweets. So like there'll be a move and it's not always continued.
Yeah.
And to that point, as an illustration only, we never give advice, but I would absolutely definitely quantify this as an illustration only. Watch what happens this year if you take off the exit for this. Again, for the third time, illustration purposes only. I'm not going to share this backtest link.
Yeah.
But the point of this is mean reversion. This is showing mean reversion.
Yeah.
And you have days like yesterday where it did continue and you would have gotten wrecked much more than the original backtest. But there are a lot of times in 2025 when there's been a price move, zero DTE, a delta move in SPX, and then it's reverted.
Yeah.
What do you think about these tweets, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they've had some impact, but I think, I'm just thinking the last 20 years in the market or 25 years in the market, I think, you pay attention to kind of what's going on, right? Whatever. I mean, to me, there's always been stuff going on, right? Now, this is maybe a bit unique, but there's always stuff going on. And it's just, I think you just kind of, what's going on? How many times have we seen, right? The market goes up and then 230, 235, it kind of backs off. So I think it's, instead of, to me, focusing on the Trump tweets, which are real, right?
Yes.
It's more just focusing, okay, what's happening? Just see the patterns, right? Just watch the, I think of when Steve from Navigation was on here.
Yes.
And he was talking about just simple price. He wasn't focusing on, okay, Trump, this, all these things, which are all true, right? He's just saying, okay, for whatever's going on, he's just simply watching price action, right? And following it. And that's all. I mean, when we were traders in the pits, I mean, that's really all you're doing. You didn't, I'm not saying we didn't focus on the news, but we really didn't.
Yes.
Right. Again, I told this before. The only reason years ago we got TVs in the pits had nothing to do with like traders wanting to keep up with news. It was March Madness. And they told, they basically, like, we were like school children telling the hierarchy at the CBOE, look at, we'll all boycott, we'll leave the pit, we'll go to the saloons or whatever in the neighborhood. We need to see the March Madness, especially on that Thursday where they show the games during the day. So I think it's just, I think that opened it up to me, like Steve, which is the perfect thing. Just focus on what's going on. We know,
right?
We know there's tweets and all that stuff, but it's just like, okay, what's the price action going? What do you notice? And I think that's really, there's a lot of bushes, there's a lot of weeds here. And I think it's just focus on the action. To me, every day is a matter of, okay, where are the news? What's the volatility and what's going on in that realm, and price movement? And any of these range bound trades, right? Or any of the trades that most of us do, there's only a few factors: price and volatility. Price.
That's right.
Focus on that. Focus on how the, you don't have to be Mr. Fibonacci and know, I don't know a lot about because most pit traders didn't. But they followed the price action, right? And they're saying, okay, it's behaving like this, right? I think it's good to know. And I was going to ask you, are there sites? I remember a couple of students were saying that they would list, there's a couple sites that would throw out when there was a Trump tweet.
There's all sorts of things you can. Yeah.
I've never really, but you can still see it, right? And you can kind of see these big candles and, but I wouldn't get too focused on the whole Trump thing, right? Because it's still.
Well, it's super interesting because we're working on some more features for the backtester. And when I say we, not me, the devs are working on some more features for the backtester that should be out within a week. They'll be on the automation platform too, but it's for the backtester, and they're related to price. And it's so interesting because Dan and I did not prep this talk or anything, but the germ of the conversation we were having is, what is the ultimate truth with options? And it really is it's the price. What did you buy for? What did you sell for? Or what did you sell for? What did you buy for? And we're big fans of the Greeks for understanding how option structures, how move over time, how the pricing moves over time. Those volatility related Greeks, those are simply inputs to the price. And you're right, price and volatility matter. Volatility matters because it's going to inform the price, right? That's really what matters with options. And that's what it's not a Trump tweet indicator for OO as the chat. I'm sorry, it's not that. You could CSV backtest that if you wanted to, but we are working on some more stuff, and the market doesn't like it because as I've been talking, VIX has been going up because we're down 5 points. So
it's just a little
Dan,
more
I think you're really right about there are so many things, and there's so many different tools that we have now to trade options, and they're amazing. The modeling has really helped me in a way that I didn't realize. I used to use modeling all the time. Then I used backtesting exclusively. And now I use the modeling as the Jalapeños to drop into my backtesting. And it just gives it a whole new flavor to figure out the price. Well, the end, it's at the end of the day to figure out the price. So I can go into the modeling tool right now and look and see, what is a 6 point move doing to my time? If I have a time spread, do I have a time spread that's going to close to? Yes, I do. It's down 6% now because of this price move, because it looks like, where am I? I'm right in the middle of the tent. I was slightly long dealt. That helps me understand it, but it's going to be the price when I get out. And the vol is going to be an input into what is the price when I get out.
Well, it's good to know. I like with the modeling tool, I was just doing this yesterday. So I was working on a video, and I was looking at the modeling tool, and it's just good to be more alert to the fact that, the trade you have on. I like the when you have the modeling, you have from the automation, you click the one little button there and you get the graph. And what I like about it is, I'd encourage you to go in, you can put price and then go one by one through the Greeks. Okay. Price and gamma, price and delta, and just look at that. And it just gives you you need to be absorbed into your position, right?
Yes.
Just like I always say, all DCs double count are not equal, right? It's
Yes.
a totally different ball game. You do a 1 day, 2 day trade versus a 15-day trade.
Yes.
It depends. So you need to kind of look and see where you're at. But the other thing, I think of the last couple of weeks in the market, be aware of, it's like you go to the ocean every day, and you're aware, if you're a surfer, the different changes that are taking place. And you look at the last couple of weeks, we've had more, the candles have gotten bigger. The last 6-7 days, if you look at the ATR average true range, the last 6-7 days, we've had averages in the SPX over 60 points.
Yeah.
That's that for an average, that's a little high. So what does it mean? It doesn't mean that the market is going too far north or too far south. Sometimes it does. I mean, Tuesday this week, we had a down day, right? We were down like 80 points.
Yes.
But what it does say is, when you're a trader, it can affect your range bound trades, especially, if you have some, rails in there to get you out at a certain
That's
point.
right. That's right.
And so that's,
if you're selling vol.
Yeah, if you're selling vol,
premium
and you're getting out, you want to look at that and say, okay, we're getting these wide ranges. So sometimes they can move far enough, clip you, and come back the other way. So that's the last 6-7 days. It's, a lot of times people will just look and say, well, net, we haven't done anything. Well, that never tells the story.
I know.
Right? If you exclude highs and lows and only look close to close. But I think looking at ATR, I think that's something like that is just basic for people to look at. Bigger candles are going to be a little more challenging for range bound traders than smaller candles. I mean, but what's nice though, I mean, one of the pluses, you could talk about the Trump stuff, President Trump stuff. If you believe in, I mean, yes, it's there, but as a result, you're getting a little higher volatility.
Hopefully,
a little stickier at times, which is good for mixed month. I think mixed month trades the last 2-3 weeks overall are more than 2-3, but they've been pretty good. Wouldn't you say for your?
I think they've been like good week, bad week, good week, bad week. Yeah, this has been a bad week. Right. So, and then a couple weeks ago was a really bad. I literally think they've been good week, bad week. I'd have to go back and look, but the goods have been goods, and then there have been some pretty bads because just the combination of, again, price and vol movement. We had what you don't want for a lot of spreads, which was a big move down kind of early in the week.
Yeah.
And then vol got crushed later into the week. If that goes the other way, where the big move down is closer when people's shorts are, that's helpful. It's been kind of the opposite. So I think, the lessons some would say the beatings would continue. I would say the lessons will continue. I'm going to drop this in the chat as a challenge. There are better Thursday back tests, but I'll just drop this in. Nobody's going to trade this. They shouldn't. It's not good this year. It's horrible. Yeah. One day it won't be. But guys, thanks for tuning in today. Dan and I will be back tomorrow. More discussion, probably another Civil War minute. Everybody stay safe. Have a great Thursday, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.